Building a budget PC for gaming has never been easier. In the digital age, gaming has evolved into more than just a pastime, it's become a lifestyle, and a high-performance PC is at the heart of it all. But not everyone can afford the top-of-the-line models, and that's where budget PCs come in. These cost-effective machines offer a fantastic entry point into the world of gaming. They provide a great balance between performance and affordability, allowing you to enjoy the latest titles without breaking the bank. The demand for these budget-friendly options has skyrocketed as more and more people discover the joy of gaming. These affordable rigs are capable of running games like the new Counter-Strike 2 smoothly, with at least 60 frames per second. Yes, you heard that right. Good gaming doesn't always require a hefty price tag. So, are you ready to start your journey to build your very own budget gaming PC? Dive in. The heart of your gaming PC are its components. Each part of your machine plays a vital role in ensuring that your gaming experience is smooth and enjoyable. Let's start with the Central Processing Unit, or CPU. This is essentially the brain of your computer. It handles most of the calculations your system has to make, so it's important to pick a good one. For a budget build, the AMD Ryzen 3 series offers a great balance of performance and price. Next up is the Graphics Processing Unit, or GPU. This is the workhorse of your gaming rig, rendering images, processing video, and handling heavy-duty tasks like gaming. The NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650 Super provides solid performance without breaking the bank. But what good is a high-performance CPU and GPU without enough memory to support them? That's where RAM, or random access memory, comes in. It's the short-term memory of your computer, storing data that's currently in use so your system can access it quickly. A minimum of 8 GB should suffice for gaming, but if you can squeeze a bit more into your budget, 16 GB will give you some extra breathing room. Your motherboard connects all of these components together. It doesn't have to be fancy, but it does need to be compatible with your chosen CPU and GPU. Look for one that fits within your budget, but still offers the features you need. Storage is another crucial component. A solid-state drive or SSD can dramatically reduce load times and make your system feel snappier. A 1 TB SSD should be more than enough for most gamers. Finally, there's the Power Supply Unit, or PSU. This is what provides power to your entire system. It's important to choose one with enough wattage to support all of your components. A PSU with around 500 watts should be sufficient for most budget builds. Now that we've chosen our components, let's move on to the fun part: building the PC. Roll up your sleeves, it's time to start building. We're kicking off the construction phase, diving right into the heart of our budget gaming PC. We commence with the installation of the CPU, or the Central Processing Unit. This tiny chip is the brain of your computer, so handle it with care. Start by lifting the lever on the CPU socket of your motherboard. Align the CPU with the socket, ensuring that the golden triangle on the CPU matches with the triangle on the socket. Gently place the CPU into the socket. It should fit snugly without any force. Once it's in place, lower the lever to secure the CPU. Next, we move on to the thermal paste application. Squeeze a small, pea-sized amount of thermal paste onto the center of the CPU. It's essential not to overdo this step. A little goes a long way. The thermal paste helps transfer heat from the CPU to the cooler, keeping your PC running smoothly. Speaking of coolers, let's get that CPU cooler installed. Align the cooler with the 4 holes around the CPU socket. Apply gentle pressure on the cooler and screw it into place. Ensure it's secure but not overly tight. You don't want to damage the motherboard. Connect the cooler's power cable to the CPU fan header on the motherboard. It's typically labeled CPU_fan. Now let's shift gears and focus on the RAM, or random access memory. Look for the long slots on your motherboard labeled DIMM. Open the clips on both ends of the slot, align the notch on the RAM with the ridge in the slot, and firmly push the RAM into place until the clips close automatically. With the CPU and RAM installed, we're halfway there. Let's keep going. We're making great progress, let's continue with the build. Now it's time for the motherboard. After ensuring you've properly grounded yourself to avoid any static discharge, gently place the motherboard into the case. Align it with the pre-installed standoffs and the I/O shield on the back of your case. Once it's lined up, secure it using the screws that came with your case. Remember, you want it secure, not over-tightened. With the motherboard in place, let's move on to the power supply. This is what's going to feed your components with electricity, so you definitely want to install it correctly. Slide the power supply into its bay, fan side down for most cases, and secure it with the provided screws. Then, you can start connecting the necessary cables. First, there's the 24-pin ATX cable which powers the motherboard. This will connect to the corresponding slot on the motherboard, and it's usually located on the right side. It's the biggest connector, so it's hard to miss, and it only fits one way, so don't force it. Next, we have the 8-pin CPU cable, which powers the processor. This will connect to the slot near the top left of the motherboard. Again, it only fits one way, so if it doesn't go in smoothly, don't force it, just flip it around. Then you'll want to connect any front panel cables for your case. These include power and reset buttons, power and HDD LED lights, and any front panel USB or audio connectors. These can be a bit fiddly, but your motherboard's manual will have a diagram to help you out. And there you have it. We've successfully installed the motherboard, power supply, and connected all necessary cables. You're doing an excellent job! Next up, we're going to install our GPU and storage devices. We're on the home stretch now, let's finish up our build. Now that we have our motherboard, processor, and RAM in place, it's time to install the GPU, or Graphics Processing Unit. This is the heart of your gaming prowess. It's key to ensuring you get those smooth frames per second when you're deep in a round of Counter-Strike 2. Here's the trick. Align the GPU with the PCIe slot, and gently press it into place. Make sure it's secure. Next, we'll install our storage devices. This is where all your games, data, and the operating system will reside. Whether you've chosen a hard drive or a solid-state drive, the process is simple. Connect them to the power supply and motherboard, and they're ready to go. But don't rush, we're not quite done yet. One of the unsung heroes of a good PC build is cable management. It helps with airflow, and let's be honest, it also makes your build look so much cleaner. Use zip ties or Velcro straps to keep your cables tidy and out of the way. Remember, a clean build is a happy build. Once everything is in place and looking neat, we can install our operating system. We'll be using Windows for our build. Insert the bootable USB stick, restart your PC, and follow the on-screen instructions. It's as simple as that. Once you're set up, don't forget to install the necessary drivers for your GPU and other components. These are crucial for getting the best performance out of your build. And there you have it. All the hard work has paid off. The satisfaction of seeing your own build come to life is well worth the effort. Congratulations. You've built your very own budget gaming PC. Now let's see how it performs. Now that we've built our PC, it's time to see how it performs. The moment of truth has arrived. Let's fire up Counter-Strike 2 and see how our minimal budget PC holds up. The performance, folks, is quite impressive. This machine manages to hit an average of 60 frames per second, which is an outstanding feat for a budget build. It's smooth, it's fluid, and it's more than enough to give you a competitive edge in your gaming sessions. Now, how does it stack up against other budget builds? Quite well, in fact. It's right up there with the top 3 budget builds, delivering a similar performance, but at a fraction of the cost. This goes to show that you don't need to break the bank to enjoy high-quality gaming. Building a budget PC is not only cost-effective but also a rewarding experience. Why not give it a try and share your experiences with us? Remember, the best part of PC gaming is making it your own.